but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-536-9607 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-536-9607.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Traffic from the michaelsflooringoutlet.com traffic center.
This traffic report's a service of Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electrical. Westbound 70 is a little slow at the city limits, but otherwise a good run to Wentzville. Southbound 170 from south of Page down through Delmar. They recently cleared an incident, so it's still kind of busy running through there. Southbound 270 south of Page through Manchester to about Doherty Ferry's pretty heavy. Then the right lane's just a little slow at Tesson Ferry after that. Westbound 64 Kings Highway out through McCausland's busy. It's a little slow between Spady and Ballas. A little slow approaching Winghaven, and then 364 to 70, just a slow parade of traffic through there. 44 westbound west of Laclede Station through Elm's kind of slow, and the right lane's busy west of Lindbergh. Southbound 55 Arsenal to Bates in the work zone, the usual backup north of Z. Most of the way down to Highway A, there's some slow traffic in the work zone down south. Westbound 44 busy past the bridges. Eastbound 70 and 64 east of the bridges still slow. 55-70 eastbound jams approaching 255 to 157 in the work zone, and westbound 55-70 jam approaching 203 to 64. Emergency repairs there in the right lanes. Next update at 5:20 from the michaelsflooringoutlet.com traffic center.
While you might not give a hoot about this week's space launch, you sure as sunshine care when your AC goes down. Well, good news, a Jerry Kelly per-producing tune-up is just 98 smackers right this very moment. $98.
JerryKelly.com. News, traffic, and the latest on the Redbirds. This is the Redbird Rush Hour on KMOX.
Ain't no red house over yonder. No stormy Monday waits for you.
All right, welcome into the Redbird Rush Hour on 104.1 KMOX. Matt Pauley is at Busch Stadium. I'm Kevin Wheeler. Obviously, we're here until we get to the start of pregame. So today, that's going to be about 5:45 is when we're done here. 5:50 will be the official start of the pregame show. 6:45 first pitch. And Matt, we get to talk ball after as good a weekend as you could draw it up. I'm not sure there's a whole lot that could have gone better.
No, they win all the games. They hit well. They pitch well. They field well. There's a couple individuals that are off to slow starts offensively. Mason Wynn, Wilson Contreras. I'm not worried about Contreras at all. Alec Burleson, a little bit of a slow start. But yeah, I mean, that is a fantastic first weekend of baseball for the Cardinals for sure.
And look, it's cool because when the guys that are struggling, you come out of the gate and your best hitter is 0 for 14. Nobody's sweating it because you're 3-0. And that really nobody should be sweating or getting too excited about anything after 3 or 4 games. I don't know if you've caught it, but my God, the panic syndrome around Major League Baseball seems to be ramped up this year. We're panicking about funny shaped bats. We're panicking about seasoned veteran all-stars because they've stunk for 3 games. Come on, man. You got the FanDuel account on Twitter asking if Mike Trout's cooked. Like, what are we doing, man? I mean, we had people in Boston freaking out about Christian Campbell being a rookie. He doesn't look ready after 1 game. And then in games 2 and 3, he just starts hitting bombs. Like, I don't know what this panic syndrome is, but I'm glad that we don't have to at least start with it this week here in St. Louis. Maybe next week, but for now, we don't have to do it.
But we can do the opposite of it because we can say, what does this 3 games actually mean for the Cardinals? And it means a little bit more than absolutely nothing. It's a lot of fun. It was enjoyable to watch those 3 games, but it doesn't mean anything for the rest of the season. I do think that we can look at the way the team played and some of the things that they did, the approach that they took offensively, and we can sit here and say, look, if they can continue to take that kind of approach pretty much all season long, this is going to be a better offensive club than a lot of people thought that they were going to be. But yeah, and the Twins today lost to the White Sox by a 9-0 score. So their struggles continued as they left St. Louis and went to play a bad White Sox team and got beat up pretty good there. So don't put any stock into what you saw over the 3 days, but just I think enjoy it because it was really good baseball.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating. We don't know that it's going to continue. So if you're one of the people out there like, it's only 3 games, I know I'm the king of that. I'm the king of it's only. We're just talking about what we can see because it's all we have, but without saying, hey, listen, print your World Series tickets. Just like we wouldn't be, saying, oh my God, the world is ending if they were 0-3. You got to make sure it's balanced. But this is the way they can do it.
Yeah.
Right. This is the way that they can have success. What we saw is not an unsustainable outburst of like weird, 6 home runs in a game from guys that don't normally hit home runs. What we're seeing, if they can maintain it, can be sustainable. But obviously the key there is if they can maintain it.
If they can maintain it, a guy like Lars Nootbaar, can he stay healthy? Because if he stays healthy, we've always known that he can be a difference-making bat. Seeing what Nolan Gorman did yesterday, is that the start of him having a really good season this year? There's just a lot of guys you can go up and down the lineup. Victor Scott II hits that home run. He said it was an accident, but we saw good power from him during spring training. So is that something that is sustainable? Those are the questions that are going to get answered here over the next couple months.
Bernie Miklas is with us here as well on the Redbird Rush Hour on 104.1 KMOX. And Bernie, we talked a little earlier today on DGS about this good start. And again, we all know we don't need the disclaimers. We all know that 3 games is 3 games. But as Matt and I were just kicking around, like this the way this went down is not necessarily weird. This is actually something this team could be about.
I think it's been really interesting because we just wanted to see some signs that maybe, guys were really locked in and everything was going to go better. And maybe we were going to see, a lot of players, getting to that level of where they're going to be able to tap into their maximum performance capability more often than in the past. And, it's only 3 games since we, as you just said, we have to just keep mentioning that it's going to be a long season, but, all of these guys in their lineup, they have at some point in their careers been, really, really good, even great. And so it's just a matter of consistency, and can they get there?
What's fascinating to me, and when we look at, kind of where this team can go. And again, Matt, Bernie and I hit on this a little earlier on DGS while you were at the ballpark, but there are a lot of things that look a little bit better, right? Some players have made adjustments, things along those lines, but we're also seeing more and more things when it comes to lineup construction and all of that. I know it's really it can get too tedious for some, but I think it matters when you're seeing this. And like today, as an example, Bernie, we didn't talk yet about Luke and Baker, but him being in the top part of the order, hitting 3rd today makes a lot of sense because if you're facing a lefty, you want him to face that lefty as often as he can before you might have to pinch hit and use a lefty batter in his place later on.
No, that's right. And it sets up nicely that way because if you do have to sub in for him, it's going to be one of your better bats coming off the bench. And so he'll fit the 3 hole if it's going against a right-handed pitcher. But no, I love that they're putting them in there because that's why he's on the team. I mean, he's going to have to get those at bats against left-handed pitchers. But I love the fact that, Ali Marmol isn't just by rote almost. It's kind of like, well, I better bat him 7th or 8th or something like that. Right. No. And I find it really interesting. I don't know what triggered all this with Ali. I really don't. I mean, I really approve of it. I think it's wonderful, but I just wonder why all of a sudden he started seeing lineups in a different way.
Yeah, I love it though. That's like you said, it's great having Baker there. And, also, I think at times after Nolan Gorman has the day he has yesterday, there might be this feeling of, you got to get him back in the lineup the next day. Well, you're facing a lefty right now as you kind of massage Gorman into the year and you try to keep him going. You put him in positions for him to have success. So something that I think will be interesting. Let's say that they do lift Baker for a pinch hitter. Is it going to be Gorman or is it going to be Burleson? Because Gorman's coming off the big game yesterday. Burleson has had a little bit of a slow start. So it feels like that battle between those two guys is going to be something that might change on an everyday basis.
Yeah, and look, you can play that based on who's on the mound and what the situation is too, right?
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And I like the fact that I think there's going to be more choices available this year too. I mean, there wasn't much, with Walker and Gorman both having, really down years. It's not as if like there was this log jam of like really good hitters. It's like, oh gosh, how do I get them all in the lineup? I think Ali Marmol's going to have some different choices from day to day that maybe he didn't have that range of choices as much last season.
No, completely agree. In fact, like the way we're looking at this today wasn't even possible last year because
That's right.
Luke Baker is in the minors. And we all talked about this last year quite a bit. In fact, we can pick this back up on the other side of traffic, but I think this is a really important thing is how big a deal roster construction is and having the weapons on hand to do this today with Baker starting against the lefty or as a pinch hit option against a tough lefty reliever in a different situation. The ability to be flexible with what they're doing. That didn't exist last year. And obviously, we can examine that more. We got Bernie Miklas, Matt Pauley's at the ballpark. I'm here in studio. It's the Redbird Rush Hour on 104.1 KMOX.
Because you and
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, it's slow going on southbound 270 right now from Page. It backs up through Olive, but just remains off the pace all the way to Doherty Ferry. And then once again from 44 down to Gravois. South 170, a lot better. Just kind of slow from Ladue to Brentwood. Westbound 64 from the Science Center out through McCausland's bogged down. Lindbergh, most of the way to Ballas. There's a heavy stretch west of K, most of the way to Winghaven, and then busy the whole way from 364 out to Highway 70. Southbound Lindbergh back up from Ladue down to Conway. Southbound 141 Ladue down to Conway's backed up. We had a crash there. If you're on southbound 55, slow south of Arsenal, backed up between Gasconade and Bates after that. And there's still some heavy traffic Z to McNutt approaching Highway 8. There's a couple of slow spots through there. Westbound 44 past the bridges downtown. Still busy. Route 3 at Monsanto. Looks like there's a train crossing. Southbound's jammed back under the Poplar. Northbound's almost backed up to Jerome. Emergency repair work. Westbound 5570 before 64 in the right lanes has a jam midway between 111 and 203. And roadwork jams eastbound 5570 approaching 255 to 157. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Have you been injured in an accident? You need a personal injury law firm that wins. Onder wins. For over 100 years, we've been fighting and winning for St. Louis. $5 billion in negotiated settlements? We've got it. $300 million in verdicts? Done. Voted best law firm by STL Today 2 years in a row. Onder wins all the time. Car accident, trucking accident, workplace injury. No matter the case, let Onder win for you. When the stakes are high, we're the team you can trust. Wondering what your case is worth? Call now for a free consultation. And remember, we don't get paid unless you win. Dial 314 or 618-9-million. That's 9 then all zeros. Or visit onderwins.com today. Onder Law. Winning is what we do.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Welcome to Staples.
I hear Staples prints it all for any business.
You bet, and we'll beat any print quote.
So if I had a pizza place...
Staples can print signs, menus, pizza boxes.
A landscaping business?
Oh, we can print yard signs, t-shirts, brochures.
How about a pizza/landscaping business? I'll call it Dough and Mo.
I like it.
Right now at Staples, get up to $250 off your print purchase. Ends 4/5 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details. Price match guarantee valid in store and staples.com/print. Visit staples.com/price match for details.
Will new tariffs impact small businesses? Rising costs and economic uncertainty can hurt your bottom line. But with Swish Funding, your business can stay strong. We offer fast, flexible funding solutions from $10,000 to $2 million for working capital, cash flow, and more. And as little as 24 hours with no collateral needed. If your business earns at least $50,000 per month and has been around for over a year, you could qualify today. Go to swishradio.com and use code RADIO. swishradio.com, code RADIO.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. If you need to sell your home to buy a new one, it's never been more important to have an experienced negotiator that you can trust. You need my friends Mark and Neil Gelman on your side. 314-336-1991. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
You're listening to the Redbird Rush Hour on 104.1 KMOX.
All right, Redbird Rush Hour leading into Cardinals pregame show tonight. 5:45 for the start of that break. 5:50 for the start of the pregame show. 6:45 first pitch. We've got Matt Pauley at Busch Stadium. Bernie Miklas is at the what did we call it, Bernie? It was
the lair.
Yeah, we used to call it something else. Was it like Castle Bernie or something along those lines?
No, I've always called it the lair. I haven't said that in a long time. Yeah. Or if you like, I think it's really appropriate these days. Call it the content farm.
There we go. Bernie's Content Farm. And then obviously Matt's at Busch Stadium. I'm at KMOX. All right, we only have a few minutes here left in this segment. Obviously going to be a short show today with the pregame starting a little earlier than usual. But we had an interesting question from Matt that came up on the chat side of here. He said, I know it's early, but is there a chance that last year was the transition? He said it's not crazy that this could be who they are. That's not crazy, and I don't think it last year was intended to be that, but maybe there's some truth to that, you guys?
I mean, maybe, but also if we're looking at the numbers that the team put up over the weekend, I mean, they are just absolutely gaudy. They're not going to average 6 runs per game. They're not going to be a team that has a 909 team OPS at the end of the year. They're not going to have a team ERA at 2. Things like that. But
you're negative.
Can some of the things that we saw over the first 3 games continue on? Can this be a better offensive club than people expect them to be? Yeah, absolutely. And I think all of us have been saying a version of that during this entire offseason.
And I think guys, there's so much. Again, if the risk of overreacting, just the way he set up the lineup this year, it really just flows really wonderfully because up at the top most you're going to have 3 guys who have really high on base percentages. They can draw walks, they can hit for average, they can hit for power. And that gives so many different ways to get a jump on the other team, And I think in the words of Bruce Springsteen, one of his songs, like you can't start a fire without a spark, And I really think this is set up to get a jump to sort of get out there and make something happen right away. And then the confidence level collectively goes up.
Yeah, I think like maybe the simplest way to put this is what you said, Matt, is correct. Like the results from 3 games are not what we're talking about, right? We don't know exactly what the results will be, but the things that they're doing, right? You're not always going to get the same result by doing things the correct way. Sometimes you're going to get bad luck. Sometimes you're going to get good luck when you don't do them well. But I think that, what we saw as far as how do we play, not what the results are, but how you play looks great. And obviously, got to maintain it over a period of time for it to really stick and take hold. All right, so we're coming up on the news, and we got a little traffic to throw into the mix as well. And obviously, we got pregame starting at 5:50 here in a little bit. Bern, you're welcome to hang. We got like 2 1-minute segments coming your way, but we're welcome to hang out. We got the 3 of us here talking ball on the Redbird Rush Hour on 104.1 KMOX.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Here's how to get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. Our U.S.-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you, and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
Every success you've had began with a great opportunity. Now there's another one. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we provide no-cost digital resources in place of textbooks and most courses. And that's not all. You'll receive your accredited online education at an affordable tuition with a choice from more than 135 degree and certificate programs. With online and hybrid courses, get everything you need to succeed again. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
You ask a lot of your liver, so give it the support it needs with Active Liver. Go to NordicUSA.com, Amazon, or ask for Active Liver at your local CVS. New you, new Nordic.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com traffic center.
Well, if you're heading home on westbound Highway 64, it's slow from Kings Highway running out through McCausland, Clayton, Warson out to about Spady. A little busy west of K, and then 364 to 70. Setting up that road work eastbound 64 at the Boone Bridge, so no delays there yet, but there will be. Eastbound 64 heavy at the Interbelt. South 170 slow at the Parkway. South 270 Page down through Ladue, pretty congested. Then it's slow through Manchester and busy 44 to Gravois after that. Southbound 55 south of Arsenal to Bates backed up. A little slow approaching Highway A south of McNutt downtown. Westbound 44 backed up between the Musial Veterans and Poplar bridges. Route 3 still jammed southbound from the Poplar down to Monsanto because of a train. Northbound it's backed up past Queenie. And roadwork backups on 5570 eastbound approaching 255 to 157 and westbound west to 111 over to 64. Emergency repair work going on there in the two right lanes. I'm Roger Brand at the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com traffic center.
At 5:30, it is 53 degrees, feels like 40 downtown at the Arch. Planned Parenthood says that while it's resumed procedural abortions in the Central West End, it still cannot provide medication abortions anywhere in Missouri. Great Rivers President Margot Riphagen.
We are continuing to, make sure that we can provide medication abortion. We are continuing on the litigation path to make sure that we can fully provide both forms of abortion here in Missouri.
NASA's newly returned astronauts say they'd fly on Starliner again.
NASA's celebrity astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sunny Williams had this to say when asked if they would fly on Boeing's Starliner capsule again.
Yes, because we're going to rectify all the issues that we encountered. Yeah, we're going to fix them. We're going to make it work.
In their first news conference since returning to Earth 2 weeks ago, Wilmore says Boeing, NASA, and even himself were responsible for what happened.
Responsibility with Boeing? Yes. Responsibility with NASA? Yes. All the way up and down the chain. We all are responsible. We all own this.
After Boeing's Starliner's thrusters malfunctioned on the way to the space station, the pair finally caught a ride home on a SpaceX flight after 286 days in space. NASA wants two competing U.S. companies providing taxi service to and from the space station. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
One of 4 new digital learning labs opens in the Tandy Recreation Complex in West St. Louis, with 3 more to follow.
St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones says it's crucial that barriers are removed in today's digital world.
And this was made possible thanks to a lot of wonderful people, our wonderful offices, and our organizations working together.
Beverly George, manager from National Community Help Desk for Empower, tells KMOX these labs are open to everyone, young people and not so young people.
We found in our experience at the Community Help Desk that seniors have been left behind. So we have a very strong focus with getting the seniors the tools and resources that they need to be productive.
The 3 other digital learning labs will be in rec centers at Wohl, Twelfton Park, and Marquette. Reporting from the Tandy Community Center, Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Clear sky tonight, low 35. For tomorrow's high 62. Right now, 53 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
A great lawn is like a great sports team. It takes expertise and a little extra care to really stand out. Now, that's where True Green comes in. They're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour, so they know a thing or two about keeping grass looking like a fairway. Now, here's the best part. It's more affordable than you think, and they'll even match any competitor's price. Plus, True Green backs it all up with a satisfaction guarantee. Not happy? They'll come back between visits to make it right. Don't wait. Head to TrueGreen.com today. Let the pros do the work while you sit back and enjoy the results.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Mason Wynn here, Cardinals shortstop and proud partner of Community America Credit Union. I've been in it to win it since day one, which is why I chose Community America. Community America is built to help more people achieve financial peace of mind with exclusive benefits like sharing a portion of our annual profits. Community America can help you reach your financial goals, big and small. Join Missouri's largest credit union, now expanding in St. Louis. Visit communityamerica.com to become a member today.
So you're thinking, great boat, 60 grand, but hey, we can have fun on the water. She's thinking what? 3, maybe 4 months a year if we're lucky. You're thinking tow ropes and wakeboards. She's thinking granite countertops and undermount sinks. You're back to thinking about summers. But she's thinking about all year, every day, rain or shine. And she's also thinking 3 days and about half the cost. That's right, 3 days and half the cost. Your kitchen or bath can have a completely new look in just 3 days or less. Guaranteed. Top quality products and craftsmanship, 100% satisfaction guaranteed. And you and your family will enjoy it all year, day in and day out, with no tow ropes needed. Now, what are you thinking? Find out more about how your kitchen or bath can be the kitchen or bath of your dreams in just 3 days. Just visit 3daykitchen.com. That's 3daykitchen.com.
3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
The Biz Dash returns for its 10th year as St. Louis's healthiest happy hour. All levels of runners and walkers welcome. Thursday, May 22nd at Energizer Park in downtown St. Louis. Create your company team today at stlbizdash.com.
You're listening to the Redbird Rush Hour on 1041 KMOX.
All right, Redbird Rush Hour on 1041 KMOX. We've got Matt Pauley at the ballpark, Bernie Miklas in the lair, the content lair. And then obviously I'm here in the content studios at KMOX. All right, Bernie, we got one more segment with you, so let's just jump. I wanted to throw this at you. We had a funny question from one of our viewers on the stream. Here you go. It's from Zodiac Z. Could we average 6 runs a game with the torpedo bats?
Gosh, what a story this is, huh?
I mean, it's amazing to me that, like, immediately people see that and they're like, it's an unfair advantage. Like, no, it's like, honestly, this is the next thing. And I'm glad for it because we need hitters to have some more advantages. To me, this is no different than a golfer having customized clubs that fit his swing. That's all this is. It is nothing more. It's not an enhancement. Aaron Judge didn't use it, and he hit all the bombs this weekend. So, but I think, guys, would you agree that baseball needs some kind of offensive innovation because pitchers have had the edge for a while now?
Good, Matt.
Yeah, I think, look, you think about the pitching labs, you think about, the fact of the matter is the way the game of baseball is the pitcher initiates everything. So the hitter is always reacting. And with that, they're able to control a lot more. So, yeah, games tend to be more fun when there's more runs being scored. I think we're making way too much of these at bats. There's a handful of guys across baseball. Jeffers, the catcher for the Twins, he uses it. Nobody was talking. He used it against the Cardinals all weekend long. It didn't help him.
It's because he wasn't getting center cut, cutters down the middle from the Brewers.
A couple years ago, it was the claw bat, with the claw at the bottom that everybody was talking about. Or the disc bat. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just another thing that's going to be talked about for a little while.
So let me ask you this, Bern. I feel like this first weekend has been more hot takey than most baseball first weekends. I don't know why I feel like they're losing their minds about everything. Rafael Devers and stupid torpedo bats and a rookie that doesn't look ready, and people are panicked about Matt Olson. Like, can we all just settle down? Have you never watched baseball before? It's 162 games.
Yeah, and some of the teams that are supposed to do well haven't done well, like the Braves.
Right.
And, people are going bananas over that. And, of course, because the Dodgers have started out so crazy good.
Yeah.
There's another round of like, well, this is bad for baseball talk and all this other stuff where, the sky's falling. And, it's really interesting the way baseball, in a way, in some ways you think it has a hard time fitting the modern culture, but then again, with the short attention spans and people just losing their minds, like you said, over 3 days of baseball or whatever. Well, maybe that's just it. Every game's like the Super Bowl now. I don't know.
It's the footballization of sports coverage. Like in football, every game's a big deal and everybody's freaking out. Well, in baseball, it's not like that. It's just not.
It isn't. And we could go through history and see horrendous starts and teams rebounding and doing very, very well. And how many teams have we all watched in our lifetimes that started off really good? And then boom, nothing. Like Matt Pauley, remember the Brewers the one year? I think it was 2014. They had a huge lead on the Cardinals and they just, and they were like, oh, the Brewers have this. And the Cardinals just hunted them down and the Brewers just completely fell apart. I mean, we see that stuff all the time.
100%. Bert, have a great night. Enjoy some baseball. We'll talk to you tomorrow. That's the great Bertie Miklas. We've got a little bit more here on the Redbird Rush Hour coming up next on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
This traffic report's a service of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. If you're coming in for the ball game tonight, if you're coming in through St. Charles County, they've already started that road work. They're doing road work now both directions, 64 at the Boone Bridge during the nighttime hours. Eastbound's already set up. It's backed up at Research Park. And don't forget, on the drive home, you're going to have to deal with it westbound as well. They'll set up the westbound side at 7 p.m. tonight, and it'll go till 5 tomorrow morning. Eastbound 64 is also heavy through the Innerbelt. The Innerbelt 170 is still heavy from Ladue to 64. Westbound 64 Science Center through McCausland is slow, and again from 364 out to 70. South 270 midway between Page and Olive, down through 64, a little busy approaching Manchester after that. No big deal. Southbound 55 Gasconade Bates is bogged down, but clear down south. Downtown, we have roadwork jams both directions. Eastbound 5570 approaching 255 to 157, and westbound, it's almost midway between 111 and 203 over to 64. 99 years. That's how long Overhead Door Company of St. Louis has been repairing and replacing garage doors for savvy homeowners. For same-day garage door repair 24/7, call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis or schedule online at overheaddoorstlouis.com. That's overheaddoorstlouis.com. I'm Roger Brand in the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
This is the Redbird Rush Hour on 104.1 KMOX.
Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler with you on the Redbird Rush Hour 104.1 KMOX. We got pregame starting at 5:50. First pitch at 6:45 tonight between the Cardinals and the Angels. Matt, something tangible from the weekend that, again, everything that happens early in a season, I hate that I do this, but I always do these disclaimers. Anything happens early is clearly with disclaimer. We know it has to be maintained. But an encouraging sign from the weekend was Nolan Arenado, not only producing, hitting a home run against a really good pitcher in Griffin Jacks in the first game in the opener, but also the consistently good bat speed. And for people that aren't really clear on what it means, his bat speed's up about 3 miles an hour from last year. And that doesn't sound like a lot. It's actually huge. That's the difference between being in the bottom third in baseball and being in the top third in baseball. And hopefully those changes he sought out in the offseason to speed up his bat will hold as we go through the year.
I mean, I've read it. You would know this better than I would, Kevin, but I've read for every mile of bat speed.
About 10, 12 feet, yeah.
Yeah, so you're getting 30, 40 extra feet on your fly balls if you get the line right at launch angle. That makes a pretty big difference.
I mean, it's a fly out versus intent 10 rows deep.
Right.
Yeah.
So Arenado already has more swings at 75 miles per hour in the first 3 games of the season than he had through the first 15 games of the season last year. So, people will shake their head and kind of scoff when we talk about numbers like these. These numbers lead to the baseball card numbers. Nobody's putting bat speed on the back of a baseball card, but when you talk about guys hitting home runs and hitting doubles and driving in runs, there's a lot that leads to that, and bat speed is part of it. So when we see bat speed improving, that's a good sign.
It's the same idea that you would talk about with pitchers throwing harder, right? It's not an automatic success, but it is going to make things tougher for the guy you're facing, and having better bat speed gives you a chance to compete. Matt, you got a text you want to bring in before we wrap up?
Somebody says, start's awesome, but what's it going to look like when players start to struggle? Will the team be able to work them through the downs of the season? I think it's a good point, because there are going to be struggles this year, and they're going to start at any given moment, and it's up to this staff and this team to work guys through it, and that is probably one of the next question marks that is going to be in front of this team.
Yeah, and look, I think, and we'll finish on this quick thought, Matt, that look, this game is physical, right? You have to do physical things. You have to execute. You have to make good pitches, field the ball, swing the bat, put the barrel on it. But a lot of it starts upstairs, man. There's so much of this game that's mental, and confidence matters. As Tony La Russa always said, they're men, not machines. And that means that psychology matters in this, and getting off to a good start has to give you some kind of psychological boost compared to these last couple of years where you're really digging out of a hole in April.
Yeah, you would think so. And you just hope that it keeps going as long as you can, because we spent so much time talking about how key it was for them to have a strong start to the season.
Yeah. And again, we're not saying that 3 games is that start, right? You got to make that about 15, 16, maybe 20 games for that to really count. But 3 games is all we have now. Yeah. So that's what we're going on. All right, buddy. Have a good show. Pregame show. We'll talk to you a little bit later on, bud.
Sounds great.
Matt Pauley has the pregame show. Cardinals and the Angels have first pitch at 6:45 here on 104.1 KMOX.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7.